everyone, my name's Tenebris, and Road to Vostok is doing what no other first-person shooter has done before, or at least none that I can think of. Blending elements of hardcore survival into an immersive first-person shooter in a single-player experience, allowing you to get ready before heading into a permadeath zone, letting you get your feet under yourself before risking it all when you get to Vostok itself. So today, I'd like to talk with you dudes about the unique difficulty concept Road to Vostok has, a game where you essentially get to play two difficulties at the same time. Most games give you the option of a permadeath mode or Iron Man mode in the beginning of a game. Sometimes, they don't even give you the option at all and are just designed to be a hardcore experience. But imagine if on a game selection screen you could pick the 50% skimmed milk option and have half of your game be a chance to get started, maybe make some profit or find some weapons, then the other half is white-knuckled hardcore permadeath survival. Myself personally, as a fan of hardcore experiences, but also appreciating the more chillin' side of video games, would pick this option 10 out of 10 times every single time. Road to Vostok will be split into two larger areas, filled with the maps you'll travel between. Think kinda like the Stalker series, where you go from area to area with a bit of a loading screen in between. As you progress further towards the border zone, the difficulty will pick up and ramp up until you cross into Vostok, where the difficulty will then be at maximum, and one mistake could cost you all your progress up until that point. It's hard to say at this point if the difficulty will progress much after crossing the border, but with loot being tied to the difficulty, we can assume that if the difficulty continues to ramp up in Vostok itself, that the map in the far northern corner will be the best spot for loot, but also the place you're most likely to wipe your game at. But then, on the other hand, if you go and get into Vostok, get into a firefight, and realize that things are beyond where you're at, then you can always progress back to the safety of Area 5 and continue building up before taking another crack at the hardcore side of the map. We also know that there will be traders in the game, and presumably just like the loot progression, the further into Vostok that you head, the more traders will be selling higher end loot, but at higher end prices. Which means that not only will you have to head into Vostok with the right medical supplies and munitions, but also with the money to get by. High risk, high reward. There's going to be a ton of nuance into heading across the border, either with fat pockets and the goal to trade and return to your safe house, empty pockets to farm higher loot than what you can get in Area 5, or just in Terminator mode, heading for that most difficult map area in the far northern corner. But let's get back to the calm for a second, because sure, fat loot and high-powered stuff are going to matter in Vostok, but I think there will be a balance to be obtained here, even with the extremes Vostok will be offering. We're gonna take another look at Stalker again, because not only is it an inspiration for Vostok, but a damn good game to draw inspiration from, just outright plain and simple. This week we were teased a picture of a campfire in Road to Vostok, and this totally gives me the same vibe as sitting down beside a fire in Stalker after hunting through anomalies, just to catch a moment of peace away from the chaos and radiation. Maybe swig back a bit of vodka and jam out on your harmonica. The fireside respite in Stalker is a very unique one, where you can come together, sit down with a bunch of stalkers, and do something outside of the shooting and looting across the zone, where you can slow down for a second and plan out what your next step will be. Maybe consolidate your inventory a bit, or just get into the immersion of it all. If Road to Vostok can capture this energy even a little bit, maybe put a personal spin on it somehow and give the players stuff to do related with the campfire, from productive things like purifying water, finding traders, or to more chilled out things like playing an instrument, having a smoke or a drink, or something along the lines of immersion, then these campfires will have a lot more value in the world of Vostok, serving as places to engage with other sides of the game than just shooting and looting your way across the border zone. The peaceful respite Vostok might need to balance the hardcore elements. One of the most hyped things about Road to Vostok is the unknown. Watching this game be formed along the way, The in-depth and detailed explanations on things so far through Vostoks devblog have been beyond insightful, and so I'm hoping that as we go along and move on to the next work in progress video, that maybe we'll have more light shed on these campfires, even just to enjoy the ambience. But let's get back to the map as a whole. This balance of a hardcore permadeath and not permadeath map in the same game will be incredibly unique. I'm really hoping that Vostok will be able to provide a range of experience in the game, as its concepts definitely hold massive potential for it. So far, everything has been pointing towards this being the single player experience to top them all. It's something I think you don't see enough focus on these days in video games. So if you want to keep up with everything Road to Vostok related, I'll be covering it all on my channel as we go along here, so subscribe to stick around. Also, there are links to the official developer YouTube down in the description below. But for now, thank you for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Until then, peace.